So welcome. This is so exciting. I can't believe the group that's out here. It's exciting, and I'm nervous, but I'll get over it. So the first thing I want to talk about, if you have not done Windows updates and you are just turning on you're taking it out of airplane mode or turning on your internet for the first time, Windows is going to hit your tablet and you won't be able to do our download. So please give your tablet some time to do a Windows update. It's very important that we keep our tablets up to date, especially Windows 11. Windows 11 is so naughty. It wants you to do it. And with this update, if you are coming from version 5, the next time you hook your tablet up to your system, it's going to ask to do a firmware update. You will want to complete that. I'll show you a video where that is also. If you're outside the country, please have your language setting set to English US, and it needs to be the top option. If it is not, then you will get some runtimes errors as you do the install. Okay, so to get into simulation mode, you'll want your USB cable unplugged, and then we're going to open the program. And it's going to tell us we can't connect. I'm just going to hit OK because I want to go into simulation mode. It reminds us to unplug that USB cable. And then once it's open, I do want to talk about something that I'm not sure everybody knows about it. And right here, it says new notifications. Every time we do an update, we push out a notification to tell you about the update. So if you want to know when an update is coming, make sure you turn your tablet on the internet and then open your program. If you aren't on the internet, you open your program and go do this update, it's going to tell you there's nothing there. So you'll need to close your program, get the internet on, and then open it back up. With the new notifications that come out, this was the first one for QCT 6, and then this one is talking about this update. I also have the release notes in here and what is new. And also in here, I have a link that you can click on to get to the document also to do the update install. Now, notice since I click on it, I no longer have new notifications right here. So it is gone until another one is pushed. But if you want to go back and see it, you can go to Help and Notifications down here on the right-hand side. Also, while I'm here, I'm going to go to Videos. And we have a video. I'm not going to start it because you don't want to listen to the music. But this is a video. It says it's for QCT 4, but it's the same for every software version. But if you have to do a firmware update and you struggle, go watch this video. This is awesome. Okay, so now we're going to run the update. I did go to Help again, and then Software Management. And then under Software Management, I'm going to do Check for Updates. And then I'm going to Update Now from Online Files. It will give the update version, which is 60. You click that, it's going to ask if you're ready for the download. I'm going to say yes. And now it's going to run the download. I could sing to you, but you probably don't want me to.
So Marie, there's some questions here about if this is different if you have an older version of 5 or 6 or basic, plus, or pro.
It's all
talk to that?
Yeah, it's all the same. The only big difference is if you're coming from version 3. And it has just a little bit difference. But if you follow the defaults, then you'll be fine. So I don't know, the user control came up on my end. I'm not sure if you see this one, but you'll say yes to the user control. And then the wizard comes up, and we're just going to go through all of the defaults on here. I'm going to say next. I'm going to accept the license agreement, and then next. This is where it will install the folder. I'm going to say yes. It's going to tell us the folder already exists. That's because this is an update and we're updating on top of another version. I will hit yes. And then next, you want to check and make sure your desktop icon is checked. And next. And now I'm going to hit install.
Okay. There are some questions, Marie. We had, just to be clear, is this an update from 5 to 6 or version of 6 with updates? So this that we're showing you today is new updates for the current 6. So if you have 6 at all, the update came out yesterday. So
it's also, Jacqueline, it's also for 5, for people who have 5 or people who have 4 also. So this update will work for 4 and 5, 3, actually 3, 4, and 5. But it depends on, I'm gonna eliminate 3 for now because it depends on the sewing machine. If you have a QNIC machine and you had version 3, you can update to version 6. And you don't have to do any updates in between. You don't have to do a 5 update to get to 6. You can go right from your current version to this update.
And I know we're moving fast. We have a lot of information to convey. So that's why we're creating a copy. We're recording this, and then you can go back and watch it again and again. Also, when we do the breakout sessions, you can ask Marie more detailed questions. And then we also have our technical support team that can help walk you through this if you feel like you need some help. So, okay, go ahead, Marie.
All right, I'm going to hit finish. Now, this is a really important part right here. If you tap too many times, you're going to run 2 instances of the install, and it's going to mess up with your software. So make sure, because some tablets have different touch sensitivities, make sure you double tap and stop, and or double click if you have a mouse. Just double click and let it do its thing. If you continue to touch it, it will run 2 things. Now, here's another reminder to make sure the USB cable's unplugged. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and now it's going to do the file directory. If by any chance you have a problem right here where it's doing the file structure and it gives you an error, there could be a couple things going on. It could be your virus protection program is not allowing to write the file directory, or you don't have permissions. You need to be admin right of your tablet or device for that to go. Now we have the load drivers. This is for your USB drivers. I'm going to say load drivers. The Explorer window will come up. I'm going to double tap on the CDM file. Say yes to the user control. And then I'm going to execute, and I'm just going to go with all the defaults, and next, accept the agreement, and next, finish. And then I'm going to go ahead and close the File Explorer window, and we're going to OK after loading the drivers, and then the program's going to want to restart. And then it's going to ask about simulation mode. Well, it's going to ask that you're not connected. I'm going to hit OK because we do want to go back into simulation mode. And now we're in and we're good to go. So that is the update.
All right, so I get to show you the best part. I get to talk about what is new in the updates. So I want you to look at the screen, and we're in simulation mode. So I know I drive people nuts because I'm trying to have you follow my cursor, my little arrow. So I want you to look at the right-hand side of the screen where it says other features. And down below, you will find a little icon that says try other product tiers. We're going to change to the different tiers of the software so that you can see some of the changes in each of the tiers. So if you will click on that, it will open up and it will show you all the different tiers that you can update to or upgrade to, and that you can use if you purchase the software one time. So we are going to go over to the left-hand side and click on QCT 6 because we're going to show you the updates on the edge-to-edge version of the software. Now, you that have the Plus and the Pro, if you have the Plus and the Pro, you have access to the edge-to-edge version. So I really suggest that you try it out and see if you like it. And you also have access to all those wonderful designs that are in the edge-to-edge file folder so that you can access those designs as well. You that only have the edge-to-edge version, okay, in this, you can try it in simulation mode, the other tiers in demo mode. So you get the kind of the best of both worlds. You can see what they're like and see if you want to update or upgrade to the new tiers. Okay, so let's click on where it says QCT 6 and open up the edge to edge. You'll see that on the edge to edge, there's the icon. We're going to click where it says edge to open up the features. And it says, welcome to Edge. You'll notice the little QR code down below because we did this software a little differently. We now have access to the wonderful world of videos and automation. When we first started the software, we didn't have access to that. So now we're introducing QR codes and videos to show you the process. So let's open it up by tapping on Next. And you'll see that I have my tutorials opened up. And I suggest that for the first time, you follow the tutorials, read across the top and follow along. Now, you'll notice that right underneath this opening of the using the tutorial, there's a close button. If there was more than one page, it would say next right here, and you click on next to get to the next page. But we're just going to close this out because I'm going to tell you a little bit about using the software. Okay, so I am in hoop frame mode. You that are in rolling frame mode, your pictures or your icons will be a little different. This is called the fabric fit selection. This is really important because in hoop frame mode, you will have quilts because they're larger than your frame that will drape over the side. That's what it's explaining up here in the fabric fit section. Then sometimes you will be working on a project that you will have, let's see, let me get rid of that, sorry. Sometimes you'll be working on a project that will fit within the parameters of your frame. We're going to, for this tutorial, click on the one on the right, on the left, sorry, the left, the one that fits off it, but I have to close my tutorial first. So I'll click on close, and then I can click on the icon with the fabric floating over the edge. So if you're in rolling frame mode, you can pick and choose whatever one you want to. All right, for this one, this little safe area tutorial, this is really specific, especially for hoop frame users. That's why I am in hoop frame mode, because we have done a few changes, okay? So we are being very specific about where you move and measure to tap and set your safe area. So please read setting your safe area. Notice that there's another page to this tutorial. If you'll click on next, here's where it's telling you it wants you to position the machine 2 inches to the left of the quilt top edge and the take-up rail. So you're moving it to the top left, and then it wants it to be 8 inches away so that the wheels don't get caught on the side of the frame. So use your measurement and read through the tutorial, and then when it says close it out, and we will set our top left. Okay, when you're in simulation mode, you can't move your machine, okay? So we are going to manually apply what we want the safe area to be. So everybody click on where it says top left at the bottom. if you click on that, I'm going to show you what pops open. You get a little 10 key that we're going to apply the measurements. So I want you to put 60 inches in, okay? This is in simulation mode. So if you're in hoop frame mode, you can do this, okay? Don't worry about it. This is just to show you the demonstration. So put 60 inches in by tapping on the 6 and the 0, and then tap on OK. All right, now we're going to set our bottom right. I'm going to just tell you how to set it. Read the tutorial if you don't know how to do it with your machine. I'm going to click on the X, and then I'm going to click where it says bottom right, and I'm going to apply my measurement as 20 inches. Okay, if you have a smaller machine, don't worry about it. We're just using these in simulation mode once again. All right, that takes us to our screen that says choose a design. And we're going to go and select a design and click on the icon that says select design. That will open you up in your library, your pattern library. And you'll notice that I have a file folder. Cutely a Day has a file folder of certain designs, but if you look in there, if you are an edge-to-edge user, you will notice some really cute new designs. So use the arrows to the right of this window and scroll through it and see all the fun designs. Now we're just going to pick a design and open it up. I'm going to pick a new one. I'm going to show you one that I have done. I'm going to double click on my file folder, and my design that I want to show you is on the last page. So click on the down arrow, and if you want to follow along exactly, there's swirls and twirls. That's what I've named it. Click on swirls and twirls and open it up. All right, there's the cute little design. Now we've selected it, we can tap on next at the bottom right of the screen, and that moves us to setting our design height. This is all kind of subjected to how tall or how you want it quilted. The bigger, the taller that you have the design, the shorter time it will take to quilt out. So because I use 20 inches for the depth of my machine, I can make it 10 inches. Okay, that's pretty big, but we want it to sew really quickly. So now I can tap on next once I've applied my measurement. You can use the plus or the minus to set the measurement. It's just a little quicker if you click on the window and apply the measurement. So now, if you look up at the tutorial, you'll notice that we'll set our row spacing. This is helping you understand the gaps between the rows. So I'm going to close this out so we can look at that. Notice that I have a lot of space right here. So I want to close that gap because I don't want it to quilt out like that. So I'm going to adjust my row spacing. If you look down below, you have a minus. If you tap on the plus, it's going to widen the gap and give you more space. If you tap on the minus, it's going to close that gap. Just give it a minute. We have a lot of people online today, and just close that gap till you have it just the spacing that you want it. And once you've adjusted it, tap on next. This will take us to our next screen. Okay, this is a really important screen for us to understand. When we're quilting, this is showing us and telling us about our quilt fabric edges of our top. So we're going to select the section that we're going to start out in. For you rolling frame users, you won't have this middle section because you won't be moving, have more than one zone. You'll have a top, a middle, but you might have more than one middle section because as you're quilting down your quilt. So I'm going to close this out. Because we're starting at the very first of our quilt, we're going to select this little icon right here, which is the top left corner. And now we're going to move to our next step. This is how we're going to set our edges of our quilt top or our fabric. So because now before you start tapping on these little nodes, if we tap directly on them, guess what's going to happen? It's going to jump off the screen. So I'm going to reset it and tell you how to move these little nodes. when you're using it in simulation mode, you'll notice right up here at the top left corner of this window, where follow my arrow, you'll see a little triangle arrow. That arrow is your sewing machine. So when we place it up and off this node, we're going to click to move our machine. That's our machine. And we're going to have it placed outside of this node. Then after we've moved our machine, this little arrow, then we can click on the node. And then it's going to jump and move and position itself on top of where our sewing machine is. The same thing is true for this node down below. If you click outside, then you can pull it out. Now, don't worry if it's not straight, that's okay. It doesn't have to be, okay? And then we're gonna set this other edge here, and I cannot see because this little window is in my way. So I'm gonna move y'all, and there I'm gonna pull it. Okay, so I've set my edges. Now we're gonna tap on next. I'm gonna move this back out of the way. And now this is helping us understand. So you'll notice that these placement nodes have been auto-placed. And I want to kind of explain what's happened. With our safe area and our edges, it already has calculated where you should probably place your first row. And so if we want to use these placements, what we're going to do is down below, tap on where it says move left. Move left, and you'll see my little machine. See, follow it along across the top, and it's going to move right over here to this node. And then I'm going to tap on single stitch. But maybe I don't like that placement and I want to reset it. You can by tapping on where you think it should sew, and you can adjust it. Okay. Now that I've placed it in a different area, I have to have it move to the left, and then single stitch. You're going to place your sticker underneath it or use something to mark it, and then use the single stitch to mark. And now we'll have it move to the right. I'll place my sticker after it moves to the right. Underneath the foot, use my single stitch to mark. And now I have placed my design for my first section, and we're good to go to sew this out. That is really the same process all the way through it. Very easy, very simple. If you will follow the tutorial, it'll be awesome for you. This one is showing you how to pull up your bottom thread. And if you click on that, you can follow those instructions, and then you can have it move to the start stitch. And it's just warning you that the needle's going to move. So it'll move across to the starting stitch. So follow the screen, follow the instructions. Okay, so that is edge to edge. I know a lot of you will probably have questions, but we're going to move on because there's a lot more to show you. So I am going to click out of this and go to my home screen. I'm not going to finish following up because on Tuesdays with Grace, I've already showed you a couple of Tuesdays ago how to use edge to edge. But we are going to follow up on this week's next Tuesdays with Grace. The question and answer, join me because I'll answer a lot more questions. So if you look at the top left in the screen, you'll see the home screen. Click on that to get out of this. Now we're back to the home screen for edge to edge. Now we're going to click on our other product tiers one more time. Open them up. This time, I want you to know that all the changes for Select and Sew, that's the block placements, will be found in both Plus and Pro. So I am just going to jump over to Pro, but I'm also going to add some gold features. So there's updates in the gold features that I want to show you as well. So don't get confused, okay? I'm not trying to confuse you. So we're going to jump into Select and Sew. So click on Select and Sew and open up your window. But for this one, we're going to open up in our pattern library. We're going to open up in triangle mode. Okay, so click open your triangle file folder, select a triangle design, and open it up. All right, So you'll notice that it defaults to 4-point placement, and how you change those placements is by clicking on all, and you can click on triangle. This is the new change. Notice it didn't default to the 60-degree triangle. It now defaulted to the 90-degree. This is a great change because a lot of you didn't know that there was an extra triangle around there that would have you actually place it correctly. So if you look down below where it has all your placement methods, down below you'll see a little triangle. Okay, I'm going to click on triangle. This is your 60-degree. That's what it used to default to. See all this space right here? We'd go and try and place it, and it wasn't placing it like we needed it to. So now that's the default. Okay, that's an awesome change. Then there's one more change. We no longer will find the tilted block. We took it out. It just wasn't needed, and nobody was really using it. And we took out the cube. If you'll click on this, you'll notice that those two placements are gone. And now for the cube placement, if you're placing a diamond or an on-point design, you will use this on point. He's made it so that you can adjust these side points. Really important for you to be able to place. So I'm going to go and select up here, select pattern at the top left, right next to my red X, and pull on point design. So I'm going to go into my block and then pick a design that is on point, and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so there's your on point. Okay, those are the changes that have been made in Select and Sew. Now we're going to get out and get a jump into Pantograph because I'm really excited to show you what's new in Pantograph. So come up here to the top left, you'll see the red X at the top of the screen. Click at that and get back to your home screen. Now we're going to click on Pantograph. I'm going to quickly show you what's new in Pantograph. So we're going to open up in Power Panto. If you want to know what's new, it's most of the feature in Power Panto. Basic and easy are still the same, but we have made some changes, some really exciting changes to Power Panto. So if you'll look down below where my pointer is and click on Panto mode, if you have been using basic, click on Power Panto and you'll open it up. Now you'll see a new little icon. I know you were all excited about when we added stagger to Power Panto. I think you'll be even more excited to see what we have right here with center and clip. Center and clip is just like the regular Power Panto. So if we go and select a design, and I'm going to use another design that I made in my patterns. So if I click on my patterns and you go to the Carla Jerome file folder, we'll show you some of the others, and click on the spring flower and open it up. Okay, see how it fills it in? That's a really fun feature that with Power Panto, it's going to take your quilt size and fill in across and down. But you'll notice that on the sides and the top, it will clip the design or crop it out. So as we're making it bigger, see how it crops it out? And maybe you don't really like that, okay? I didn't. Sometimes I wanted, if I wasn't sewing off the edges of the quilt and I was quilting with inside the borders, I love Power Panto and I love the adjustability of it. But without having some other features to help me adjust it correctly, it just wasn't sewing and I couldn't quilt inside the borders. So you can adjust the sizing by the plus or the minus on the screen, and you can also adjust the spacing. Minus will bring it in, the plus will take it out. If you want to stagger, tap on stagger. Notice that the spacing is a gap, and we can close that gap in this mode. But say I wanted to quilt inside the borders and I didn't want all this cropping going on in the edges. So I'm going to tap on this little icon that says center and clip right underneath the vertical spacing. And now we have a fit and fill. So notice your design is even from one edge to the next, and it hasn't been cropped out. This is going to be awesome for you to play with. And I can adjust the sizing by taking away rows to make it bigger, or adding rows to make it more dense. Now you notice you won't be able to stagger with this. That's okay. We want it to fill with inside the borders. And now there's another one. Also, you have nest and fit and nest. This one you can adjust the sizing, but if you start adjusting the sizing, you'll notice that it overlaps. We want to take away a row. And maybe we want to get rid of that gap by making it a little bigger. So this will be one that you'll want to play with so you can get to know it and understand. All right, so now we're going to tap on Sew in Zones, because I'm going to take you to the placement screen and just show you some new ones. We don't need to save our design. We are in simulation mode. Did I click on yes? I don't want to. All right, so we won't save. So now I'm in hoop frame mode. So it has us quilt in hoop frame mode a little differently. I just really want to quickly show you some of the changes that have been made. If you will place your design, and it's going to tell you it's highly recommended for you to place your marking sticker. And I am going to quickly sew this out. Sorry, it's not going to be that quick. I should have. So we'll give it a little minute. So if there's any questions, if I haven't been really clear, what's changed is instead of saying finished zone, finished at all, it's going to say mark zone. I felt like that was one of the biggest things. When we saw the word finished, we were ready to roll. And so we missed that marking phase of the project. So it's really important before we roll our quilt to mark. And so instead of finished, it will say, so I'm going to repair my pattern. I'm going to come down here to the end and close a stitch, and we're going to sew. So it's going to finish sewing out. We cheated a little bit. Okay. So now you're going to see the new little icon. It says mark zone. That's a new change. Okay. Really important to help us through our process. Okay. A couple other little features that I wanted to show you. I'm going to replace my zone. I want you to come into the plugins, the pattern eclipse. And I want to show you how this works. This is the gold feature. I'm going to crop out a section, add, go here, here, add my sections. Now, this isn't to teach you how to use this. This is just to show you what's new. Okay, you'll notice that down here we have our apply and our preview. I'm going to apply. And then in the preview, it actually shows you how it's going to sew out. I'm not going to go through it. I just want to show you the process. Okay, so it's cropped it out. So if I start hitting play, see, it's going to start here. It's going to go around and start sewing out. Now you will see fewer stitching lines. It's not going to repeat, but you're also going to see it start in different areas. Don't worry about it. We've tested it. It works beautifully. You will love this. So I'm going to close the preview. I'm going to come back to this screen here, and I'm going to say, okay. Okay. I don't know if you've ever experienced a shutdown where you've tried to get back in and get the settings correct for pattern eclipse. I have, and I've had to unpick. Well, now if you go back up into the plugins, guess what? We have a recover. That's if you run into problems, this recover button is going to help you get back and have the same settings that you had initially before you had the shutdown. That is cool, and it's going to be a lifesaver. Then the next one is endpoint adjust. Okay, there's one little setting in endpoint adjust I wanted to show you. All right, say you're in hoop frame mode and you have a whole section of your design that you want to shift, and it's just so far away it's causing problems. If you will notice down towards the bottom, right underneath where it says last, there's a move all. If you check it, you can move a whole section of the area and adjust it to where it fits within the start and stop. There's a little bit more we need to show you, but it's harder to do in simulation mode. So I'm just going to tell you about it and let you explore. Now I'm going to click on OK and get out of this. I have one more thing I want to show you, and that's in the borders and corners. So I'm going to click out of this, go all the way out to the home screen. Going to come into borders and click on the gold features, go into borders and corners. All right, now I'm going to pull my screen up here. You'll notice that miter is no longer here. So with miter being gone, block now works. So I'm going to click on block placement. I'm going to show you what happens. So I'm going to go get my designs. I'm going to select my corner first, and I'm going to go use in the block file folder the little butterfly. And notice it didn't flip on us. Okay, that's awesome. Now I'm going to go select a border. And I'm going to use my patterns. I'm flying through this, I know, you guys. That's okay. There, see, it works. Now, your points don't match up. That's because we're using two designs. Don't let that hook you up. I'm just showing you. It works now. Use it. Have fun with it. Now, I'm going to show you what a border and corner looks like. So you can play with border and corners to see what they look like in simulation mode. So we're going to select a different corner. And I'm going to keep this here, but now I'm going to go select the little corner design I made for this little flower. Get patterns, and I'm going to go get my corner. And in here, you'll see I have a little corner design, and open it up. There you go. It's a lot of fun. Borders and corners, all these little features are so cool and so exciting. I really hope you enjoy it. It's part of what we do here at Grace Company.